he said he wouldn't do a collab with her unless she was willing to have sex with him.
You could have just said no and kept it moving, but you're clearly in your feelings going through all that.
You're in your feelings. Like, listen, you want to fuck or not? Like, not really. Bitch in her feelings and shit.
And she might have gone, you know, I might have wanted when you first disrespected me. But the 6th time you disrespect me, all right, let's get this popping so we can get this collaboration.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man.
Dante, we have always rallied against fraud relationship advice experts out there giving frivolous information. And one of our favorites is he's shown himself to be a clown once again. Remember Fresh and Fit, Dante? Remember the super duper?
How could I forget?
The super.
Don't tell me he's jumping out the window again, huh?
Yeah. I mean, he is showing that he's a clown and he's pathetic. I think Myron.
Supremacy, self-hating African is not enough. He's jumping out the window.
Well, look, man, he is simply. I guess he's lost his mind. They lost their sponsorship. They lost a lot of money. They're going full AWOL here. The white supremacy stuff that they're supporting, all that. But he has slid into the DMs of another influencer, and he basically he said he wouldn't do a collab with her unless she was willing to have sex with him.
Okay.
You know, this Mac, the pimp. The ladies' man himself.
Ladies' man.
I have been approached about collaborations before, and so since I was going to be out there, I was down to do it. So when he said, I'm not trying to do anything platonic with you, it was completely left field for me because I was only thinking we were going to do some kind of fitness-related content collab. And he said, no problem, I collab directly with girls I date, no pressure though. And I was like, so if we aren't dating, you don't want to collab? Because he's never even asked me on a date at this point. So I was like, he said, no, don't mean to be an a-hole, but we have plenty of women in Miami. And I said, well, same. We have plenty of men here in California, so why would I fly to Miami to date someone who I know nothing about? And he said, simple. Attractive women are common. High-value men are not.
This is that, they're still doing that negging shit. Remember the negging where you're supposed to give like a compliment that's, I forget what it stands for, but the whole idea, this was the pickup stuff with Mystery and all those guys wearing the cowboy hats and the fedoras or whatever. And the idea was that you'd insult a woman, right? And then she would be like so shocked that she'd be enamored with you because you have power.
Right. Now that might work if the woman is a total moron and not aware of the fact that you're that she's just so unaware of her surroundings that she's like, oh my God, I can't believe he didn't melt in my to my feet. So now I what's different about this guy? Not when you look like a albatross, but that's a whole other thing.
Oh boy. You're saying that hair plugs didn't fix all that problem for Myron?
Hair plugs, yeah. He looks like the South Park version of Osama bin Laden.
No, boy. Now I got to pull that up. Hold on. The South Park, oh boy, yeah. But the negging thing, they tried that for years and it didn't work.
I mean, I'm quite sure. You know, a broken clock is worth, whatever. It's right twice a day. But I think the problem is there's always this level of insincerity, and somehow they built a platform that the sheer magnitude of the platform and the amount of people that that listen to it, right, are gives it legitimacy. It's just like the amount of numbers involved gives things legitimacy. Not unlike Rogan, Rogan has so many followers that
so now people take his word as gospel.
Yeah, and the question is, does he really have the expertise to speak on the topics that he is? I mean, there's plenty of times where they were just straight hoaxes, where Rogan was like, "Oh, did you hear about the kitty litter? The kids in the kitty litter?" And I've seen them,
the kids identifying as cats.
Yeah, and it was like that's fake. And he was, "Oh, they got me again."
Yeah, hold on, let's take a look at
14 million. laka.
A durka. Yeah,
Durka.
From Team World, America Team World Police. It's not a great look for Myron, but whatever. That's not the looks are the least of Myron's fucking problems. By the way,
No.
yeah, the we can't blame looks alone. It's
Well, this is the situation where somebody really doesn't feel like he keeps announcing what his value is, and then nobody, there's no confirmation for that. So he doesn't believe it. So every time he states it, it comes off as creepy and weird.
Well, it's like a trick because he keeps. Also, by the way, like he makes that offer, she's like no, and he keeps going with the justification for why he's worth something. So she's like, I don't care. There's more here. Hold on. There's more here.
I said, you haven't proven to me that you're a high value man. And actually, I know quite a few high value men. I'm not just an attractive woman. I'm an entrepreneur with a 6-figure business and a high profile assets. I'm nothing but common. I meant to say I'm anything but common. No hard feelings and a smiley face. So then I screenshotted our conversation, blocked out his name, and I posted on my story because I was shocked at this point that someone would use their business, their show, to try to get women, and they think that would work. And I was also shocked that he said that attractive women are common and high value men are not, when it's just like he dismissed me as an attractive woman but not a high value man, or not a high value woman.
So, but first of all, here's the thing. He's not wrong that there's not an abundance. There is a definite. I mean, like, I think we have to acknowledge the parts of this that's true.
Sure. Yeah. Call what is fair and what isn't fair.
A high value man, whatever you perceive that is first of all, it's in order to become a high value man, it means work. It means work, time, and effort. It means that you have to put the work in consistently to develop it. You're not going to have a situation where you can go out and get women. Women are not going to pay for your meals. Women are not going to simp for you. That just not. So everything that you earn, you're going to earn it. But that still doesn't. So just because you have these material things, and this is the problem that I have with Kevin Samuels a lot, is the fact that the focus of what he sees value as is it stops at this monetary level, which relationships just don't happen that way.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to have high value in a relationship because there's plenty of dudes who don't have money. You bring other things to a relationship. I think you described it as a woman will always look for somebody who's better than herself.
Right.
Better being a relative term, because if a woman's making 6 figures, well, she doesn't need a man for money, but she needs him for either comfort, moral support, protection physically, emotional protection, something that he brings to her world, and vice versa.
And also she's probably not going to mess with a guy who doesn't have money of his own either. So he has to have a mastery of his finances, along with the fact that he has to be all these other things, which is also what makes it difficult for women a lot of times, because as their standards go up, the pickings become slim. So the more successful you are as a woman, and if your expectation is to meet a man that's better than you, right? Then also in a situation where if you're not willing to contribute to the relationship, like if you're not willing to be in a relationship where you want to make somebody else happy, right? If you're selfish and that also discounts you as a woman, even if you're attractive and you're selfish and you got a guy that has any respect for you, then he's not going. You also have to elevate not just as a person in terms of the monetary value, but you got to elevate in terms of how you have to define what this person wants. One of the things that I say all the time is, like, if you are in a relationship and you're with somebody who doesn't want to make you happy, why are you spending time with that person? And that means men, women, and everything in between.
Whatever, yeah, whatever.
If you are it's interesting. I was out in Baltimore, right? And I'm not gonna mention his name because it's my man, and I counseled with him. But he brought this woman out. He knew I was in Baltimore. Came out to see me do stand up. I got to start mentioning that I do stand up more often. So I was out telling jokes, which is my business as a stand up comedian, and he brought this girl, a beautiful girl, very, very, very attractive, very modelly African chick, right? So, I'm always cordial and open.
Sure, very sweetheart of a guy, yeah.
When the fans come out, and I was like, oh, come around the south, tell security to let you back. So he brought her back, beautiful girl. So, it's always nice to see a guy that you've been counseling, and he has he's a beautiful chick on his arm.
He's doing well. You're proud. You're proud papa.
But the problem is that this woman all she did was take pictures. Now, I understand that Godfrey, who is also a stand-up comedian, because Godfrey and I are both stand-up comedians.
Yes, not just flat earther deniers.
Right, not a flat earth denier, not a...
You are, at the very least, flat earth denier / stand-up comedian.
I want to say stand-up comedian / flat earth denier. But
if you don't know what we're talking about, you should. Just as a side note, we'll get back on track. But definitely go look up Dante Nero, flat earth. Lord Jamar, and what's his name? Professor Dave.
Professor Dave.
It's very entertaining, but off topic. Definitely check that out. You'll enjoy yourself. Anyway, so this woman is in the green room taking pictures.
I'm always paying attention. If you love what we're doing here, go to patreon.com. It's the best way to support us, and check out all the bonus content.
That's right, patreon.com/manschool202. We do weekly bonus episodes. We do listener mail, dating tips, and also, if you love the show, you can go back to the archive starting from episode 1. All the episodes will be there at patreon.com/manschool202.
I mean, Godfrey, I'm saying Godfrey, but Harry, you've seen that even back in the days when you would date. You bring a girl around me, I'm watching.
Absolutely. You watch the whole room. You're always kind of watching the whole room, but especially if a guy's with a lady, especially if comedians come in with women, with a lady, with your lady, with your chicks.
How you ladies doing? You're looking so beautiful tonight. I'm just wondering which one of y'all giving up some pussy.
That's a guy we ran into on the street. We just thought he was fantastic, just charming and then aggressive. Kind of like, Myron without the charm. See, at least he led with some charm.
How you ladies doing? I'd love to do a collaboration with you. I just want to make sure that you're giving up some pussy.
But
I'm a high value man, and I just don't collaborate unless somebody give me some pussy. Yeah, you like me? I haven't even given that much thought, but you are a beautiful young lady, and I would love to use your body as a penis cozy. So there's that.
So you're watching, you're seeing
I'm watching, and the girl is taking pictures. Now, look, I understand that Godfrey is a pretty famous comedian, and you get back, but she wasn't taking pictures of us. She wasn't taking, oh, can I get a picture? She was just doing a photo shoot.
For herself? What was she, just a bunch of selfies?
Taking pictures of her outfit, her shoes, or just. And so we're standing in the green room, and she's taking pictures of herself. So
can I ask, is she an influencer or no? I would assume that she's not, right?
Just a chick with a camera. I mean, and who cares if she was?
If you're making money, it's business. I almost understand it if you go, hey, every picture I take.
Even if you're making business, the pictures you take are about the collaboration. It's not about, because you can always do a photo shoot of your outfit by yourself. Gotcha. Like this is it was after the first show, so we had another show, so we snuck them in the back to, whatever. And
you don't have to sneak him in the back, but you're allowed to bring him in the back.
Right. Well, right.
I know we have that mentality stuff. Sneak him into the back unless I get in trouble. Like, it's your show, you guys can bring him.
Right. But it's like you bring him in the back, and then whatever, they meet the comics and whatever.
Sure.
And
VIP,
just the
green room.
pictures. But as I'm watching, every time I turn around, she's taking another picture, and then then there was some other people in the green room, and she's asking them to take pictures of her, and so now everybody's her photographer, and
It's a lot of nonsense. It's annoying.
yeah. So none of it affects me, but I'm talking to my man who's consulted with me. I think he's probably consulted with me for about 2 years straight, and got a lot of progress and shit. And I've constantly said how important it is to understand what your value is and understand how you specifically want to be treated. So fast forward, you know me, Harry. I'm not I don't penny pinch. So I called the guy up. Hey, it was great. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, but it's right away. I go, yeah, but what was up with the chick? Oh, what do you mean? I mean, she spent all her time doing a photo shoot. She asked to come backstage. You came backstage, and she didn't really take pictures of us. Oh yeah, that's how that's how they are. And I go, no, that's not how they are. Right?
That's how some of them are.
That's how some of them are. And if that's how they are, then that's something you shouldn't be spending your time and energy with somebody who's like that.
Also, how they are doesn't matter if you like that. See, that argument goes to like if you've ever dated Latina women and they're like, I'm just that's just my personality. I'm very fiery. Like, well, you can go be fiery outside.
You can go your ass fiery back. Well, you could go to Venezuela.
Yeah, you go be fiery in Caracas.
Right.
Wherever you gotta go.
You don't get to treat me any way you want to treat me because this is somehow I'm a fiery Latino. And now I get a license to act like a moron because of the fact that because I was born in South America. I don't care. Like, you have to have standards in which and how you want to be treated. And this is men, women, or otherwise. I don't care who you are. You got to define what is acceptable for you and understand what your non-negotiables and then never negotiate them. So he goes to me, they're all like that. Every girl I got that they're always there. And I go, well, then you have to stop that, right?
Yeah.
And this is something that I get annoyed about a lot of times. One of the things that I find frustrating when it comes to doing consultations. Somebody always wants to argue with me about something that something that I'm clearly clear about in what what my particular philosophy is. And then they want to argue it. Well, they're all like that. And they all, it's like when they go, they all text. Nobody wants to get on the phone. Well, then but if you don't even understand that you being different, right, is what makes you different. This is like this girl says, look, do you want to do a collaboration? Now, I don't know if you know this, but the other black guy, the buff black dude, Rashid.
Yeah, the fitness guy, yeah.
Rashid, yeah. So I think he actually smashed. Him and the girl hooked up. The black guy.
Does he indicate that, or you're just?
I'm almost sure I've heard. I don't know if it was in that video or something, but whether it did or it didn't, what I'm saying, that happened organically.
Right. There's nothing wrong with that.
It happened organically. He didn't go, oh, you want to do a butt video? Well, I got to smash. It's just, I don't even understand how you put a woman in that position that where, like,
because you don't care. You have no empathy. It's the same reason you'd support the Ku Klux Klan on your show.
Yeah, it's like where she has to go. You're right. You are a high value man, and I am a lowly woman that has nothing to offer. So I'm gonna clap cheeks because you're better. Like, I don't even know why you would put somebody in that position. You're not even letting their sensibilities make these decisions about whether you're valuable or not.
It also shows no integrity. Like, what, you don't give a shit about collabing. You just want to hook up. You know,
he's such a cornball.
And not only that, but he
blatant cornball. It amazes me how people don't see through this. You know.
Well, because he's speaking to mostly a young generation who don't have the experience to understand that what he's doing is stupid. Like, it seems like cool up front if you don't know any better. You know, if you don't know any better.
How is that cool, though?
Because he's getting chicks, bro. And all that matters is he's getting chicks.
That's the point. He's not.
But that's the image that he portrays, and they don't know enough.
Even if that's the image he portrays, what he's doing, he's literally looking at a girl going, look at this cucumber, this zucchini squash, who's saying something stupid, and it didn't work. And he gets exposed over and over and over again of just being just a simp. He's just a simp. He's just a clown. And it's like the fact that the contrast I want to make is, here's a guy who I've been consulting with for quite some time, and I've definitely helped him through his things. And I'm not, it literally got to the point where I was like, honestly. Because, if you push me, I'm going to be polite, but if you push me too far, I'm gonna give you both barrels. I'm like, I don't give a shit about what you think. Like, I want you to be clear. I want you to be clear. I don't care what your opinion about women, relationships, the social dynamics of it. If that was the case, I never called you. I never called you.
Well, you don't care because you would respect the opinion of somebody who's done something, or if there's a reason to. Not if you've done nothing, and I
wouldn't mind having a debate, but it's like you calling me for help, and then somehow because this is what your experience is, like it's based on what? I'm not calling you for help. I'm not trying to get paid.
That's like your coach going, "Hey man, you got to run that route better." You go, "Well, actually, I think that we should do this." Like, well, I've been coaching for 25 years.
Yeah,
you've been playing for 3, and you sucked until I got a hold of you. But that's that stubborn male pride, bro. Because nobody wants to be men in general don't reach out for help because they don't want to have to admit that they don't know what they're doing.
Right. Exactly.
And so that stays even when they take some of your advice and it works. Then when the other shit goes down and it's uncomfortable to deal with,
right?
Then they stay with it. There's some more of this video I want you to check out.
And said, I'm just being honest and stand by it. I'm not collaborating with you unless we have sex. You have had sex with a bunch of dudes I know and aren't special. You could have just said no and kept it moving, but you're clearly in your feelings going through all that effort with a poll, etc. Go ahead and screenshot the conversation and clout chase. I don't care what 75 simps said in your story to White Knight. The difference is I say what I want and don't care what you think they do.
First of all, you do care because you keep responding. If you didn't care, you would have ended this conversation. But I also like that you're in your feelings. Like, listen, you want to fuck or not? Like, not really. Fucking bitch in her feelings and shit.
And she might have gone, I might have wanted when you first disrespected me. But the 6th time you disrespect me, I'm kind of turned off. I mean, are you sure you wanna have, and then what happens? So she comes over and she goes, all right, let's get this popping so we can get this collaboration. Let me get my pants off so we could collaborate. Like, what is wrong with you?
The other thing too is that, he keeps trying to sell himself, and the reason that she should fuck him, like he's continuing to try to sell himself and justify why he's a high value man. High value men don't have to justify. If you have any worth, you don't have to justify yourself to other people.
Yeah.
The second somebody goes, you ain't shit, you go, just get the fuck out of my face. I don't need this.
You go, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're right. You're absolutely right. And then you'll find out. And even sometimes there's a situation where people are not going to find out. Sometimes people don't always have the intellectual acuity to understand that you do have value. So it's interesting. I got angry and I was like, I was like, look, I don't care what you think. I'm not asking your opinion. I'm telling you that if somebody treats you that way, if you take them out on a date, I go, did you pick her up? He goes, yes. I go, did y'all go to dinner? Yes. Did you pay for the ticket? Yes. Did you come out? She's in the back meeting the headliners because of you, right? What did she contribute to this? Now, I'm not making a stink about that overall, but when somebody is not even appreciative of what you're doing, then you got to stop. You got to stop laying it out. You stop giving. If people don't appreciate it, then you don't give forgiveness to people when they haven't asked for forgiveness.
Now, do you feel she wasn't appreciating it, Dante? It's
Clearly
just the
she
act
wasn't.
alone of her. I mean, I think it's inappropriate to go in a public space like we're in a green room and you're just fucking running around making a scene, really, which is what you're doing when you're taking a ton of pictures. But do you think she didn't appreciate it by your perspective?
Let me see. There were years, couple, maybe like last year, this comic brought this girl, this little slimmy, modelly chick in, and brought her in the green when it was a bunch of famous comics hanging out in the green room. And she spoke, but she was just very not friendly and not cordial. And then she was whispering and I was like, yo, who's this bitch? Like,
sure, I've seen you do that a couple times.
who the fuck is she? Oh, such and such. And I was like, yo, get yo. So I throw the shade right away. Let you know, like if you thought you were important, we want to be clear that you don't belong here. And then we trash my man for like a month about this goofy chick. You don't bring this goofy chick back here who thinks she's better than everybody else. Like you come in and you speak and you be cordial.
What did she do that made that she was better than everybody? What was it? She wasn't communicative. When she came and she spoke, she kind of act like you could just tell. The body language is like fair enough.
There's some goofy shirt dress on, like a dress that she made. I guess it was high fashion avant-garde. She looked like she was wearing a shirt, a Dickie shirt as a dress or something, and just little teeny legs was swimming in her cowboy boots a dinner bell.
I don't like the description here, but whatever.
She's giving a lot of this, and we was like, goofy, you're fake, you're phony. Nobody cares. Nobody's impressed. But sure enough, I screamed on him, and then whenever I scream on somebody, they usually know when I'm pissed. So because of it, he called the girl up and he said, "Listen, I took you out. I was trying to get to know you, and you spent the whole time taking pictures, yeah. Photo shoot and whatnot, and it was just rude, and I'm just really not interested." Because she called him and was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm just really not really interested in going out." And she said, "Why? What happened?" No. Which is absolutely the right response. Why? Because maybe she didn't notice it. Speaking to your point, the point that you were making. Well, what was she doing that made it so? It's very possible that she didn't know how to act.
I could see her being oblivious. And not necessarily not appreciating it, but not understanding that you have to behave a certain way when you're in a certain location.
Right. So he checked her, and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to." She was like, I'd love another opportunity to make it up to you.
Fair enough. Perfect
response. But this is the funny thing, that the guy who I'm training, I'm teaching, I'm explaining to him why this is not a I'm explaining to him
it's not acceptable. Why you can't tolerate. Yeah.
He's arguing with me why it is because it's not that he's not even saying it's acceptable, but what he's saying is it's
unavoidable. Is what he's saying.
This is the name, and I'm telling him no.
And that's how guys end up in crappy relationships. Because they go, well, this is what it is. This is what it is. This is what my dad tolerated. I see my uncles deal with this. This is what it is.
And the girl asked for it. I said to him, you understand that all you really had to do was confront it and just say, I'm not willing to be treated that way. And because you were not willing to be treated that way, instantly the whole dynamic changed. And now you have an opportunity to build a relationship with somebody who respects what you want out of a relationship. Because here's the thing, the dude is the guy's a doctor. He's got plenty of money. He drives around in a G-Wagon. He's a good dude, handsome dude, well-dressed.
Dante, would you say he's high value?
He is high value.
Oh, okay, good.
And I bet you he does collaborations without having sex with women sometimes. So,
How do you do it?
I don't know how. Some guys are flexible, some guys are not. And the minute he pushed back in the least way, the girl, because I'm not saying that a lot of times it is intentional. I'm just saying you have to frame your life in the way that you want it to unfold. And then this is as simple as understanding what your non-negotiables are and then never negotiating them.
Yeah. And also you have to do it early. So you establish early, like, this is what I am. This is how I am. And if you're here for that, then cool. If you're not, then don't. If this is how you behave, then go, please.
And what person wants to be able to what person respects somebody who they could just walk all over it with no regard for any respect for them? How do you respect somebody who doesn't have respect for themselves? And that's really what it is. It's not even a male-female thing. It's just, this is what I accept. And then we decide what's fair. When you're looking at Myron and he's going, I don't collab. Like, listen, even if he said, listen, I don't collaborate with girls that I don't have sex with. And she says, well, I'm a high value. I mean, even to explain that I'm a high value, I mean, do you understand how stupid you sound when you go, you don't get it? Look at me. I'm awesome. It's literally like saying my other car is a Porsche. It's like having a keychain to say my other car is a Porsche. You have decided that what your value is whatever, however money you got or whatever car you have. And there's no real character. And because you have no character, when you're presented with somebody who is not impressed by what you think is important, then you keep begging, trying to sell yourself, which is you can't make people do what you want them to do.
And he asked her, by the way.
Yeah.
To do a collab. He asked her to do a collab. She's like, cool. And then he's like, by the way, I only do collabs with people I'm fucking. So he's not even honest about that.
Wait,
like,
did he ask her first? Or did he
asked her. Oh. I'll pull up the video. Yeah, he asked her. Let me
be aware of false prophets is really the thing. It's like there's always this inconsistency. Where, like I always say, whenever you're a kid and you're doing the math and the teacher says, show me your work, right? The reason why you want to show your work is so that you have an understanding of the concepts and you can repeat the concepts over. When there is an inconsistency, that tells you this person is lacks credibility. So, this is what it is.
There you go. Well, Dante, if you don't want to be like Myron, how can people get real relationship advice from someone who actually knows what they're doing and isn't a clown trying to Harvey Weinstein women? How would they go about getting that help, Dante? Yeah,
first of all, you got to stop listening to those knuckleheads. Second thing, check out, follow on Man School, like, subscribe, and share the Man School 202 podcast. Also, if you need consultations, you can hit me at DanteNero.com, click on consult, or Harry, you can go advicefromharry@gmail.com if you need somebody to talk to and understand the nuance of this. Also, don't forget, you can follow the Patreon at Manschool, www.patreon.com/manschool202, and you can help support us, part of which is the credibility of supporting us as we help you is part of your own personal credibility. So do that, and GYBB, get your balls back, WWDD. What would Dante do? The Sexual Revolution is being podcasted. Love y'all, man. Peace.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't.